There we go. All right. So let's make sure that we're up on the screen. I'm waiting for it to pull up on the phone here. And there's the black, just a black screen. But I might not have entered the studio yet because I forgot to enter the studio before I went live. And there's always like that little bit of a delay. Always. But, I'll try to keep you entertained while we wait. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. I don't see anybody in my watching it live yet. I'm sure there'll be a couple of people, maybe. And, if not, I'm sure somebody's watching this after the fact, because I know I get a lot of viewers once the live stream is over. Don't worry if you miss the live stream. It's okay if you miss the live stream. I only really started doing these things live because it was easier for me. And then people started, coming in and actually watching them live and interacting with me in the chat. And I enjoy that. So don't get me wrong. Don't think that it's not something that I don't enjoy. So I like interacting with people in the chat, but it wasn't the initial purpose, is what I'm saying. There I am, finally up on the screen. I don't know how long it was that I was off, because sometimes there's that like I said, that little bit of a delay between when I start shooting something and when it's on the phone. Okay, so I was probably having black screen for a while there. It took an exceptionally long time for it to come up this time. So we're gonna take another dip back into the world of the DC multiverse with Dr. Mid-Nite. Now, I've mentioned before how I'm a big fan of the Justice Society of America. How that's one of my favorite comic. Excuse me, I'm looking for my X-Acto knife right now. I know that. Okay, I found my snips. Well, hopefully I won't need my X-Acto knife this time. But it's never fun when I misplace my X-Acto knife, because then I worry I might, wind up sitting on it or stepping on it or something like that, and that's not an experience I want to have. But yeah, I just don't see it around here. And there it is. It's on the little part of the desk that slides out that's got the keyboard on it. All right. So I would need this for slicing the tape. I'm sure I could have found some other way to do it, but there's tape on the bottom of this. No tape on the sides this time. So yeah, Dr. Mid-Nite. This is a Mcfarlane collector edition. You know what that means? That means it's overpriced. So, but we're going to get into all this. Is definitely an overpriced figure. This did not need to be a collector edition at all. Like some of these I open and I'm like, yeah, maybe this didn't really need to be a collector. This absolutely did not need to be a collector edition. There's no excuse for this to be a collector edition, especially if I get this guy out of the package and I find out he does not have a wired cape. Now, on the back here, we have a really nice piece of artwork by Alan Davis, who's one of my favorite comic book artists. But there's something very strange about this. This is actually not the character that's in this box. This is Dr. Charles McNider, the original Dr. Mid-Nite. And this is, I believe, the third Dr. Mid-Nite. I forget what his Peter something or other. I forget how to even say that last name. Let's look it up and see if I can figure it out. Dr. Mid with a hyphen N-I-T-E. Dr. Mid-Nite P-I. I was hoping that would get me started, but it didn't. Dr. Mid-Nite 3. We'll just put Dr. Mid-Nite 3 and hopefully that'll Peter Cross. That was his name. Cross, yeah. And I'm not sure if I'm saying Peter right. I'm guessing it's just pronounced Peter, like how it's normally pronounced, but it's spelled. He's Norwegian. He's from Norway. So he spells his name in a Norwegian fashion rather than a than the typical what typical to me English way of spelling it. Let's see. I'm just gonna do a search real quick of that name and just see if I can Peter. It might be Piter. I don't. Pieter. I don't know. So we're gonna find out. This is gonna be fun. All right, how to say Peter correctly. All right. Of course they do. Peter. 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 So yeah, that's how we pronounce that. Okay. So that's the character that is pictured on the back of the box here. That's Peter Cross, and the character on the inside is Charles McNider. So that's two completely different kinds of Doctor Mid-Nite. Two completely. He was the third Doctor Mid-Nite. Charles McNider was the original Doctor Mid-Nite. Beth Chapel, was that her name? I believe she was the second one, or the second. Is that her name? Beth Chapel? Yeah, Beth Chapel. She was the second Doctor Mid-Nite in the 80s. And she got killed by Eclipso. They brought her back because she was on the Stargirl television show. So they wanted to bring her back. Now, that having been said, there actually is a platinum edition of this figure that is colored like the Peter Cross costume, where he has black gloves and silver gauntlets and a black cape, I believe. So he's colored like this version, but he's not sculpted like this version. So technically, there is a way to get a Peter Cross figure, but it's not, in my humble opinion, it's not a very good Peter Cross figure because it's not sculpted to be him. It's the Golden Age costume, just kind of recolored. It's just a palette swap of this one. But even though it's the wrong character, I do think that's a nice piece of artwork. So I am always a big fan of Alan Davis. So let's go ahead and open him up. This is not a wired cape. I would forgive this being a collector edition figure if it at least had a wired cape, but it doesn't. Mcfarlane has been being really cheap on the wired cape front recently, and it very much disappoints me. You got me spoiled on wired capes, and now you don't even want to use wired capes. What up with that, Mcfarlane? Like you were the guys that got me like really into that, because before, like, I had figures with wired capes before, but I didn't really care that much. And now that Mcfarlane's been doing it and doing it well, I gotten used to it, and now they don't have it anymore. And what's the dilly, yo? Come on, let's bring back them wired capes. We need them wired capes. So let's go ahead and, usually I say that I like when it's not in this case, when the blister for the trading card and the figure stand are on the same blister, because it makes it easier to get the trading card off. But in this case, I had an easier time getting the trading card off than I had getting the figure stand off. Look at that. Look how that was peeling off of there. And that's some pretty thick cardboard. I had to really put some effort into getting it out with my nail. And there is the figure stand with the classic DC logo embossed onto it in silver. And as critical as I am of James Gunn, I do like that he brought back that DC logo. That was a good decision. Here's the trading card with the same piece of Alan Davis artwork. And there's what the back looks like, and it reads, Dr. Mid-Nite, Justice Society of America, real name Charles McNider. Physician Charles McNider was asked by the police to treat an important witness against mobster Killer Maroney. Any relation to Boss Maroney? I want to know. I'm pretty sure somebody's done that story in the comic book where they revealed they were cousins or something. When McNider was treating the dying man, a thug threw a hand grenade at them. McNider was blinded by the explosion. McNider learned that he could see in the dark, but was blinded by the light, revved up like a deuce. And I'm sorry, I got distracted. Blinded by light, much like an owl. He developed special infrared glasses that would enable him to see in the daylight as well. McNider then borrowed the costumed identity of Dr. Mid-Nite and used it to capture Maroney. Dr. Mid-Nite was a member of the All-Star Squadron and spent many years as a member of the Justice Society of America. So yeah, that's a pretty decent bio, and it's got a lot of good information in it. It actually tells us a lot about the character. It's not like some of these where I kind of feel like it left a lot of important stuff out. It covered most of the basics of this character, so that's good. So here we got his pet owl, who is named Hootie. And, a lot of the times, I kind of feel like just having an animal sidekick justifies one of these being a collector edition. Of course, we had Ace the Bat Hound, and we had Crypto. The movie Superman had the movie Crypto. They had James Gunn's dog in Crypto cosplay. But in this case, I don't think it justifies the extra cost because he's so tiny. That's a little thing. That's an accessory. That's not like a whole separate character. I mean, it is a whole separate character, but not in the same way that like Crypto is. So let's set that aside. I'm very disappointed that this one doesn't have a wired cape. I'm always disappointed when these figures don't have wired capes, but I am especially disappointed in this one because, like I said, this figure did not need to be this figure absolutely did not need to be a collector edition figure. There's no reason for this to be a collector edition figure. This is just trying to get more money out of us. That's all it is. That's all it is. So I'm gonna call it as I see it. I'm gonna call it out on that. Shame on you for doing that, Mcfarlane. If you're gonna charge us like that much for a figure, it better have a wired cape. That's all I'm saying. So even the Christopher Reeve Superman re-release that did not have a wired cape, even that one, I still feel like they gave us enough accessories to. Man, now where did I put my snips? I just had my snips, and now I don't know where those are. Ugh, man. This episode is turning out to be a very frustrating experience for me. And I need those snips because I'm doing stuff with the 3D printer. And that's the main reason I have those. I just use the snips because it's convenient. So, and I've got all this stuff piled around here. But this is all stuff that, like, I didn't hardly move any of this stuff. So I don't imagine I would have put anything on top of the snips. I didn't think I did anyway. Where are my snips? What happened to them? They fall on the floor maybe, and I just didn't notice? Maybe they got knocked over? I don't know. It's a mystery to me. It's a mystery. Mysterious. So, if anybody's got my snips, you can just mail them to me. Okay, fine. We go old school. We're just going to cut it with the... We'll find a way to move on. We're going to cut it with the X-Acto knife. He's got double rubber tabs around his torso. And thankfully, the rubber tabs around his wrists seem fairly loose. So I can hold them taut from the back and then cut them that way with the X-Acto knife. Haha. All right. So that should be all of his. And besides Hootie, I wonder if the band Hootie and the Blowfish was inspired by Dr. Mid-Nite's pet owl. He's got some extra hands, and those are the only accessories that he has. There's no extra head. There's no extra faceplate. Nothing like that to justify the cost of this figure. And I believe these figures now are like $35. And I don't remember if this one was $35 because I bought them a while ago. I just haven't gotten around to opening them yet. But yeah, this figure should have been cheap. This should have been a standard action figure. This should have been a standard Mcfarlane figure. There's no reason that this should have been a collector edition whatsoever. This could have just as easily been in the standard sort of Mcfarlane line. So he's got this cape with this sort of the shiny sort of taffeta sort of material, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense on him. I think using the jersey material probably would have been better. Like I said, the only time I really like these kind of shiny capes is if it's on Batman, because it makes sense. Like it kind of reminds me of Adam West's Batman cape, so I kind of like that. But Batman related characters, like I don't mind if Robin or Batgirl, or if they did a Golden Age Catwoman, if she had a shiny cape like this. And he does seem kind of on the slender side to me a little bit too. Somewhere around here, I have the Riddler, because I always have the Riddler around here. But I was moving stuff around, and I don't know if he's going to be easy for me to get to. Right there he is. I see him. But I was digging around with some stuff, and I don't know how easy the Riddler is going to be to get to right now. Let's see if we can get him out. All right. Because the Riddler uses that sort of basic DC superhero body, and he looks like he's not much more slender than this one, but he is a little more slender. I don't know if these parts are reused from anything else. Probably so, but I'm not recognizing them offhand. But he doesn't have the same body as this. And even if he did, I'm pretty sure they would have given him like a new torso entirely, including the trunks, since he's got this, where the vest hangs down under the belt. He's got a nice thick black belt, which my friend Trevor did a Dr. Mid-Nite cosplay many years ago, and I helped him put it together. And one of the things that I suggested was like, dude, get a belt from like a Santa Claus costume, because it's that nice thick black belt. It looks just like Santa Claus's belt. And he's already wearing a red vest, so you can see the Santa Clausness about it. And then he's got those cool moon-shaped clasps that I always associate with Dr. Mid-Nite. Now, you might remember the Superpowers figure that I made. I didn't put those on there. I made it from a Sheriff of Nottingham figure, because I was trying to. So I just kind of had the regular buttons where there were the studs in the armor. I just kind of thought of those as being buttons for the flap. But I did give him a moon-shaped belt buckle, because I did really want to. I did really want to have that sort of what do you call it? I did want to carry over that motif, basically, and I did paint the moon on his hat too, on his cowl. I always said hat, but anyway, and you can see that like he's got the that was a mistake that I made, because I colored his eyes metallic green. They should be metallic blue on my Superpowers figure, but whatever. I think it still worked. And then he's got basically he's wearing up like a black bodysuit with a red vest over it and a green cape, and then he's got brown boots and gloves. Now in the comic book, sometimes his gloves are gray instead of brown, and that can kind of vary. Now, personally, I'm a fan of him having the brown gloves because it matches the boots, but my friend Trevor, he was more of a fan of him having gray gloves with the brown boots. So I'm not saying Trevor is wrong for his opinion, and I'm not saying that I'm right either. I think they're both kind of equally valid opinions. But what I'm saying is there are two schools of thought to it. And personally, I'm more of a brown glove guy. Trevor's more of a gray glove guy. Whatever side of the fence you fall onto, I've got a lot of respect for you, because if you're that passionate about Dr. Mid-Nite, you're my kind of people. That's all I'm saying. So there's a reason me and Trevor are friends. And I haven't talked to Trevor in a long time, so maybe he'll see this video and know that I gave him a shout out. But so if he does, hey Trevor, hope you're doing well. He texted me a while back and asked me how I was doing, and I was doing pretty shitty at the time. So I said, pretty shitty. And I meant to get back in touch with him, but unfortunately I've just been like just ridiculous busy. And I think I'll try to give him a call sometime soon, because I need to give him a call sometime soon. I'm thinking about my friend while I'm watching this. So if he does see this, hopefully he'll know that I'm thinking about him. So, but I don't even know if he knows about my YouTube channel. I don't know if he even subscribes to it or anything. So he might not even be aware that I have a YouTube channel. How insane is that? So anyway, he's, like I said, he's got several hands. He's got the extra hands that come with him. Is he's got two of these gripping hands, one for the left and one for the right, and he's got one sort of splayed out gesture hand, and that's for the left hand. And then he's got, and I love these, pointing hands. He's got a pointing hand for the right hand, and that's all of his hands. He comes with no other accessories. This is not, absolutely not, a figure that needed to be a collector edition. This is price gouging is what this is. So, and it's a nice looking figure, so I kind of don't want to be mean about it. But I mean, let's be honest here. It's not a nice enough figure that it should have been like at a premium price point. There's no extra accessories. They're like even with those Superman movie figures, which I thought were overpriced, at least they have extra heads or extra face plates or something. I can kind of understand extra heads and extra face plates, costing more money because they've got the paint applications on them. And there's just nothing in here to justify the price point for this. He's got an owl. Okay. Whatever. It doesn't even clip to his hand. Like it's just kind of an owl that's just supposed to sit there. And I suppose you could kind of balance him on the arm, or kind of like, perch him up there somehow. But it doesn't seem like it's very easy to do. So I'm just not going to fool with it. The owl's nice, and it does have some good paint detailing to it. I'll admit that. But this should have been like a $25 figure instead of a $35 figure. There's absolutely nothing to justify this being a more expensive figure, and I'm very disappointed by that. And like when I bought this, it wasn't really Mcfarlane hadn't really gotten bad about not having wires in the capes yet. So I had no reason to even think this guy didn't have a wired cape. I didn't start to worry about it until later. But yeah, he's got the no wired cape. So I hate to do this, but before I even start with the articulation, I'm going to have to say that this figure is like a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. That's what I'm going to give it. And if it weren't a collector edition, I'm grading it as a collector edition figure. I'm grading it on that curve because that's the way that I have to grade it. I paid extra money for this figure, and I was not rewarded for my extra. I did not get my money's worth out of this action figure. And I'm very disappointed to say that, because it's a nice looking action figure. It's one of my favorite characters. I hate to be that harsh about it, but I got to be real with you guys. You guys want me to be real, right? You don't want me to not be real. And it's like, I know I've seen people come on here because they say, oh, well, you're usually so positive. Well, sometimes I got to be a little negative. And it's like, I want you to understand, even when I'm being negative about these figures, it's coming from a place of love. Like, I love this line of figures, and I hate to see it going down this path. We're towards the end of it now. And I know that, I understand that, but I hate to see it going down this path of just like skimping on the quality. Like, don't stop trying just because you're near the end. Give us 110%, like you've been giving us 110% through this whole line. Don't start skimping now because Mattel is about to get the line. Stuff like this makes me like actually glad that Mattel is getting the line. Not even bittersweet, but just really like I'm not gonna have to pay $35 for a $25 figure. That's the kind of thing that makes me happy. So shame on you, Mcfarlane, for doing that. You've been doing so well. You've been doing so well. You got me hooked onto a whole nother scale of action figure. That's something that's pretty impressive, is it not? But now it's just been so much disappointment lately. It just makes me sad. So legitimately makes me sad, and makes me glad that Mattel's going to be doing the DC figures from now on. So phooey on you. There, I said it. Phooey on you. Now I will say also about these boots is that I do kind of feel like I don't know if the gloves and the boots are quite the right color. They seem like they're a little more on the orange side of brown to me, like a burnt sienna. And I kind of think of them as being more of like a chocolatey sort of brown. This is just me nitpicking. This isn't an actual criticism necessarily. My main criticism about this figure is it's overpriced and it does not have a wired cape. And I would not feel so bad about being overpriced if it had a wired cape. And I would not feel so bad about it not having a wired cape if it weren't overpriced. It's the combination of these two things. Mcfarlane, if you're going to make me pay $35 for an action figure, it better fucking have a wired cape. There. Sorry to drop an F-bomb on you guys, but it's justified. It's the only way I can express my frustration at this point with what should have been, what almost was a great figure, and it should have been a great figure if not for the price and the lack of a wired cape. That's my rant. I'm done ranting. I don't know what I'm going to open up next, but it's not going to be a Mcfarlane figure because I'm too frustrated with them right now. And I do have a bunch of other Mcfarlane stuff to open, but I need a palette cleanse, so I'm going to go back to probably doing some Masters of the Universe next. And since I'm excited about Mattel and excited about Masters of the Universe, like I'm not excited about Mcfarlane and I'm not excited about DC right now. I don't really have any reason. There's my snips. I don't really have any reason to be excited about DC right now. I'm not really excited about any of the projects they have coming out. I'm not into any of the comic books even that they have right now. But I don't see anything in live action or animation even to get me excited at this point. I'll just go back and watch the old stuff when I get in the mood. And, hopefully Mattel will give us some good figures. And hopefully I'll still get some good Mcfarlane figures out of the remainder of their time with the license. But that just frustrated and disappointed the hell out of me, man. And it's like, it's a nice looking figure. This should have been a figure where I'm talking about like how much I love it and how excited I am, but they made it too expensive for what it is. And that's just like I don't even know. I'm just really frustrated with it right now. So that's it. I'm sorry you guys had to see my ugly side in this video, but sometimes I gotta lay down the law. Sometimes I gotta tell people what's what. And what I'm telling you right now is that this figure was not worth what I paid for it, and I'm very disappointed by that because I love Dr. Mid-Nite, and he deserved to have a better figure for a better price point. This should have been a really happy episode for me, and it wasn't. So that's just it. That's just it. Anyway, I'm gonna end this episode now, but I'll be back in another episode coming up. I know I've still got a lot more Masters of the Universe stuff to open up. I've got a lot of Snake Men. I've got almost all of the 2000X figures. Not all the 2000X figures, but almost all of them. And I do have Merman and Tila from 2000X pre-ordered. I don't have the other figures in that wave pre-ordered yet. We'll see. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get Roboto. I'll probably get Orko, but I haven't pre-ordered him yet. So, and I do have a lot of other cool stuff coming up. So if you want to make sure you don't miss that, make sure you like and subscribe and all the other fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. I like it when you leave comments. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe. So I like to say like and subscribe. It helps more people find the channel. It really does. It does help in the algorithm. And if you made it this far into the video, I want you to go down and leave a comment, and I want you to let me know. This is kind of an unusual question for me, but I want you to leave a comment about me in this video, and I want you to let me know: am I being too harsh on this figure for what it is? And what do you think about this figure? Is this a great figure? Like, I kind of feel like it almost could have been a great figure for me. If it had the wired cape, it would definitely be a great figure. But as it is, it's just kind of, for me, kind of tainted by my disappointment at spending as much money as I did for a figure that doesn't even have a wired cape. So let me know in the comments what you think about that, if you made it this far in the video. I'm really interested in your opinion, and I'd like to have a discussion in the comments about this. So please do leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate you guys watching. I'm sorry that this wasn't a happier episode, but that's how it's going to be sometimes. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.